If you've attended one of the live support groups that we've facilitated at our Farmington office pre-COVID, you know about Resolve New England, or RNE for short. Now, RNE is a fertility and family building nonprofit organization based in the Boston area. And today on Lunchtime Live with the Center, we're talking with Emily Lindblad, operations manager at RNE, and to learn more about what they do and how they can support you. Emily, hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
What is Resolve New England?
So Resolve New England, or RNE for short, is an independent nonprofit organization that's dedicated to serving the fertility and family building community throughout New England.
So what are some of the things that RNE does?
Sure. Well, for over 45 years, RNE has provided support, education, and advocacy for all those in New England that are striving to build their families. Everyone in the organization, myself included, has a personal connection to the mission and really understands the struggles and the many different paths to parenthood. So we're dedicated to connecting New Englanders with the resources and support they need to empower them to make informed decisions on every step of their family building journey.
So when you talk about family building, you're not only talking about couples who are looking to conceive naturally.
Nope. Anybody who wants to become a parent through any method is supported and covered by RNE's offerings, whether it's support groups, educational opportunities, and our advocacy work.
And can you talk a little bit about some of the educational activities that you offer?
Sure. So RNE offers a range of ongoing educational resources, mostly available through our website, like our community blog. We publish a tri-annual magazine that touches on different paths to parenthood and new science, anything kind of new and exciting in this field. We also offer a directory of family building professionals and related resources to people who are in the research stage. Insurance advocacy support and consultations, because we know that can be a challenge for some families, and pop-up seminars and community events. In addition to kind of the ongoing resources, we also, in the fall, host one of the largest family building conferences in the nation. This year, we're actually really excited. It's our 28th annual Infertility Treatment, Donor Choices, and Adoption Conference.
And did you have one last year, or was it virtual?
Yeah, we swapped to virtual last year. We're going to continue with virtual this year, just to make sure it's the safest event that it can be. But we're looking forward to, hopefully, fingers crossed, back in person in 2022.
Yeah. And when you talk about advocacy, what does advocacy look like for you, for the organization?
Sure. So we actively support legislation in all 6 New England states that will be positive and inclusive for fertility and family building. And the flip side is other times we actively oppose legislation that would prove to be a threat to fertility and family building. Kate, our executive director, is actually at a hearing for the fertility insurance bill in Maine right now. It started at 10, so fingers crossed. I hope it's going well.
Yeah. How can people get involved with it, with the organization RNE?
Sure. Kind of depends on if you are currently navigating family building and fertility challenges, or if you are kind of a graduate of that realm. We have a lot of different ways for people who are currently navigating challenges to get involved. We offer a number of peer support groups. We definitely encourage people to explore our blog, magazine, use those as tools to get informed, and to sign up for updates so you receive information about upcoming programs and events. For people who have resolved their fertility and family building challenges in whatever way worked for their family, there are also a host of volunteer opportunities available, some public facing, like helping with peer groups, and others behind the scenes, depending on what your interest is. Everybody is welcome to be involved with the advocacy work that we do. We're actually working to support a bill in Connecticut right now. We're really glad that Connecticut already has a fertility insurance law, unlike 2 of the 6 New England states. But advocacy is still important to protect access to fertility and family building for all. So we are currently supporting legislation that supports family building efforts, the Connecticut Parentage Act, which will ensure equal access to legal parentage for all children, regardless of the circumstances of their birth or the marital status, gender, or sexual orientation of their parents in Connecticut. It's really exciting. The House actually passed the bill at the end of April. So the next step for anyone who lives in Connecticut and might be listening is to call your senator and ask them to approve the Connecticut Parentage Act when it comes before them in the Senate, which will hopefully be later this spring.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Now, I had mentioned we used to have live support groups. We facilitate them in our offices. I know that things have changed a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about the support groups, the peer support groups in particular, or is what I'm talking about?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the cornerstone of our mission. RNE and actually Resolve National, for those who are familiar with that organization, both grew out of the same org, which started in Belmont, Massachusetts in 1974. And it was a group of people that came together to provide peer support while they were going through infertility treatment. That has expanded since then, and we currently offer 20 free virtual support groups each month, covering a variety of topics. Regardless of the topic, we're aiming to provide a safe place for open discussion and connection among individuals and families that are currently navigating infertility and family building struggles.
And the leaders of these groups, they've had their own fertility challenges, correct?
Yes, all of our groups are peer-led by people who have either experienced in the past or are currently experiencing fertility or building challenges. We're fortunate that we have wonderful volunteers with a wide wealth of knowledge and experience, so we're able to offer groups from primary infertility, pregnancy loss, to donor conception, childless not by choice, and cancer infertility. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please continue.
I was saying, regardless of the topic, our goal is to help people meet others who share a similar struggle, to learn more about a specific issue, and to hear about resources for help. Our mantra is find your people, because we want anyone experiencing infertility and family building challenges to know that they're not alone.
You had said, so just for context, when we were doing this live in our area, we had support groups once a month. Now, did you just say we have 20? There are 20 of them per month?
We do pretty much Monday through Thursday, sometimes nights double up. We did used to run them in person at various locations around New England. We had a handful of groups that met virtually pre-COVID, but now everything has swapped to virtual, which it's tough not being in the same room as people, but it has opened up groups and made access a lot easier, so that regardless of where you are geographically, you can attend a group on any topic.
That's great. And, to let others know, I mean, I've hosted some of these groups, and so seeing them virtually, it's been really great, because now you can be in Vermont at the top of the state and attend one of these meetings without having to travel, and just gives better access to the support that's needed.
Definitely. And I mean, we are Resolve New England, but we are finding that other areas of the country, even the world, don't necessarily offer the supports that people are looking for. So anyone is welcome to join. We've actually had attendees come from the Midwest, the West Coast, Panama, even Africa. So wherever you are, we're not going to turn anybody away if you don't happen to live in New England.
Yeah, that's great. And someone else just wrote, Nikisha just wrote, that's great. So you talked about the different groups. Can you give a sampling of what's, you have primary infertility, secondary infertility as well?
Yes. So
another
secondary one. Sorry.
And I know you had mentioned to me before our talk that there's a new one as well.
Yes, our cancer and fertility is our newest group. That is actually starting next Wednesday evening.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, we have a lot of different groups about a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
The full list and the most up-to-date schedule is available on our website at resolvenewengland.org/support.
Excellent. Do you think you're going to go back to live sessions at some point?
We are planning on not going back to live sessions, but incorporating live sessions, or in person, because all of our virtual groups are live, but incorporating in-person sessions in addition to our virtual offerings. We feel like this is such an opportunity to provide access for everyone that we don't want to lose that piece by returning to in-person groups. So we are looking at different ways to run sort of a hybrid group model where we have virtual groups and in-person groups again.
COVID has changed so many things. It's nice to see that, there is some positive that's come out of it as well, if a little bit. But is there any cost to attend or to join these groups?
Nope, groups are free.
Excellent.
We're fortunate that we have some wonderful sponsors, and we've received a few grants over the years to help us kind of supplement our work. But we want to make sure that the people who need the support now are able to get it regardless of what else is going on in their life.
What about patients who are newly pregnant and still want support?
Yes, we have an expecting after pregnancy and loss group because we realize that the need for support absolutely does not end after a positive pregnancy test. A lot of those attendees tend to be pregnant. Officially, the group is expecting after because it really doesn't matter how you are expecting a child, whether it's through adoption, surrogacy, pregnancy, whatever method worked for your family. We want to have a place where people can come and still get that support that they need, while also making sure that our other groups are safe spaces for those individuals.
Okay. And can men attend these sessions as well? I mean, men, or, I'm talking about partners of, from a couple standpoint, or anyone,
Yes,
any men,
absolutely.
I suppose.
Yeah, partners are definitely welcome. Men are welcome to come into any of our groups, but we do additionally offer a men's support group, just because we find it can be helpful to have a space where they can talk just about what's going on from their perspective. It can be different if, depending on what type of family building strategy you're using, depending on kind of where the cause of the challenge is. So it can be nice for men to have their own space to talk about and process among other men at the same time.
Yeah, this is excellent. Would you mind saying your website again?
Sure. www.resolvenewengland.org.
Great. Someone was asking about that. So, okay, Emily, it's a pleasure. Resolve New England is close to my heart. So thank you for being here and just, spreading the word about your awesome organization.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about R&E today.
It's our pleasure. We will be back next week for another Lunchtime Live. And in the meantime, be sure to check out our website at yukonfertility.com for tons of resources to support your family building. Take care and talk to you next week.